Minsk's actions were called unfriendly in Kyiv. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry emphasized that holding Belarusian exercises near the Ukrainian border, and in particular the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, poses a threat to Ukraine's national security and global security in general.
We call on officials of the Republic of Belarus not to make tragic mistakes for their own country under pressure from Moscow, and its armed forces to stop unfriendly actions and withdraw troops from the state border of Ukraine to a distance that exceeds the range of the existing fire systems in the Republic of Belarus. We emphasize that Ukraine has never taken and is not going to take any unfriendly actions against the Belarusian people. Statement of the Foreign Ministry of Ukraine on Telegram.
The monitoring group Belarusian knows that the Belarusian group being transferred to the Ukrainian border does not pose a real threat.
The group concentrated at the border with Ukraine is approximately 1,100 personnel, and this number of forces transferred to the border does not pose a threat to Ukraine. We also note that the troops are located at a depth of up to 50 kilometers from the border. We believe that the current escalation of the situation on the border pursues informational and political rather than military goals. Belarusian Hayun project on Telegram. About Belarus, there is no need to panic. As of today, all threats of an offensive from Belarus are exclusively informational, nothing more. The defense forces are in control of the situation. Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine on Telegram.
Despite the stable situation on the border with Belarus, the Ukrainian defense forces are ready for any scenario.
We are strengthening both the border line and the border area in terms of fortifications so that our guys have the ability to repel any attack, no matter who tries to invade us from the territory of Belarus, either Belarusian units or Russian ones. Currently, Russia does not have a sufficient group of forces on the territory of Belarus that it could attract to invade the territory of Ukraine. Andriy Demchenko, spokesperson for Ukraine's State Border Guard Service, on the air of the national telephone.
Meanwhile, the information propaganda campaign in Belarus does not stop, which started with a new force with the beginning of the operation of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Kursk region. Thus, on August the 25th, the State Secretary of the Security Council of Belarus accused Ukraine of alleged intelligence activities and emphasized that tanks, aircraft, Polonaise multiple launch rocket systems and other equipment have been transferred to strengthen the Belarusian border, and that's because Kyiv allegedly keeps more than 120,000 troops near the border with Belarus. Earlier, Lukashenko himself said the same thing.
This lives in the sick minds of Belarusian generals and those who say that Ukraine is redeploying here and there, because at least from the side no mass movements are noticeable. Those who stood still, they are still standing and they have not gone anywhere. Lukashenko is concerned why. Let's return to the Kursk region. For Alexander Lukashenko, the worst scenario would be if Putin declared that this is war and aggression and began to appeal to the Collective Security Treaty Organization, because in this case it is necessary to enter the war. And entering the war is at least risky for Belarus. Firstly, the army is not that big, and secondly, the mood.
Experts are sure that Lukashenko on the one hand is trying to curry favor with Putin, and on the other hand, he does not want to enter Russia's war against Ukraine.
Lukashenko is trying to curry favor with Putin, justify his inaction or actions, and simulate an active transfer of troops. It is true that up to 1,000 troops were transferred over the past 2 weeks, but in fact such rotations had occurred before. Therefore, it is impossible to say that something unusual is happening. A large concentration of these transferred forces is near Gomel, Uninets, Mozyr, but this is more than 100 kilometers from the border with Ukraine.
The actions of the Belarusian dictator are nothing more than an information campaign designed to distract the attention of the Ukrainian defense forces. Allegedly, in this way, Minsk is trying to stall the successful offensive of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kursk region, experts emphasize. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.